Jagrative, Jaya Masters. Eventually, if you grow, you will realize that there is no difference between a spiritual life and a beautiful life, a life that everybody wants to live. What it boils down to is you have a decision to make, and it's not what your career is or who you want to marry or anything like that. The big decision, which very few get their head around, is do you want to live your life here on this planet by making up what you want and what you don't want, and then trying to make it happen? Or do you want to pay attention to what's unfolding in life and try to serve it, try to participate in it, try to help life going where it's going? Those are two very, very different lives. And like I said, very few people get clear enough, comfortable enough to even know what those two lives are and that they have a decision. The normal state of one's being is not okay. It is not okay. There's no reason to lie about it. Lonely, scared, insecure, self-conscious, embarrassed, needing things, expecting things. I had all kinds of problems in the past. Things didn't happen the way I wanted. So I have scars inside and issues and problems and things I have to suppress and push away, otherwise they bother me. That is what's called a normal human being. That's your starting place. So you admit that. You know how you know you're not okay inside? Because of how hard you're trying to be okay. It's as if every single thing we do, every word we say, every piece of clothing we put on, every car we buy, everything is an attempt to be okay. You're trying to find somebody. You're trying to have a career that will make you okay. You're trying to have a relationship that will make you okay. You're trying to eat what will make you okay. You're just trying to impress people so you'll be okay. You're trying to be accepted so you'll be okay. It's so big, like a fish doesn't know they're in the water. It's so big that we don't even notice what's going on. So truth, reality starts with, I'm in here, and I'm not okay in here. I'm trying to be okay in here. I'm not depressed or anything. Right? That's really not okay. That's I'm not okay and I gave up. All right? That's all that is. So I'm not okay, but I'm trying. That's very nice. But you're still not okay. So that's your starting place. It's not all that comfortable in here. I have to work at it. And there are times when things don't go the way I want, then I'm not okay. There are times when things do go the way I want, then I feel more okay. But there's this constant pressure, this constant need to make things be the way I want so I can be okay, and to make things not be the way I don't want so I don't be not okay. All of that sounds so rational, but what it misses, what the Buddhists say the root, it misses the root, which is I'm not okay. If I need things to be a certain way for them to be okay, then I'm not okay. If I need things to not be a certain way so I don't get worse, I'm not okay. That's the starting position. So there's nothing you can do about that. That's the starting position. What you can do something about is what you can do about it. What are you going to do about the fact that you're not okay? It's like AA. You have to start off by admitting you're an alcoholic. You have to start off by realizing I'm struggling in here. It's tough. Even when I do well, I worry. If I meet somebody, I worry that I'll say something wrong or that they won't like me later or whatever it is. There's this constant not okayness. The Buddha said it. The first noble truth of Buddha is that all of life is suffering. What does that mean? I'm not okay. He didn't mean, someone's cutting your arm off and it hurts a lot. He just said all life is suffering. In other words, we have to struggle. We have to try to be okay. So how does one go about trying to be okay? It's a perfectly normal thing. You want to be okay. Why would you not want to be okay? Just like your body wants to be healthy, your psyche wants to be healthy. You in there want to be happy and healthy and whole. Perfectly normal. But you're not. It's not that way. So we struggle. When you get clear, you start with that. Okay, fine. I see there's issues in here. How am I going about my business of trying to be okay? That's the only thing I want to talk about. It's your business. There are two ways to do it. And like I said, it's not whether you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, whether you want to get married or not. Those are not the choices. Those are not the choices. That's way too little. The choice is, do you want to continue letting your mind make up, that's all it's doing is just making up what you think needs to happen outside for you to be okay, and making up what better not happen outside so you don't feel worse. Those are not inherent things in the nature of things. What makes you happy makes him sad. What made you happy yesterday makes you miserable today. It can change. It's not that the thing outside inherently has a nature to it that makes you good or not. It is the fact that you've had past experiences and they've left impressions on you. That this particular type of thing makes me okay, and that particular type of thing makes me not okay. If you'd had a different past experience, believe it or not, you would be different about it. It is just an impression that got made upon your mind because of a past experience you had. If when you were in 12th grade you dated a redhead, and it was just the most perfect relationship, and then he or she moved away because their parents left and you didn't even have one fight, then you like redheads. They're very special. If, on the other hand, you got really taken around the block by a redhead, then you have, a tendency away from you. You have a proclivity against this sort of, no, I ain't going out with a redhead. I did that before. You do talk like that. Do you understand that? And you do understand how stupid that is. Because the redhead you went out with has nothing to do with the one you're about to go out with. Period. Nothing. Zero. And that's true of every single thing in your life. You've had these past experiences. Maybe they happened in California. Maybe they happened in New York. Maybe they happened when you were 6. They took your blankie away. It was blue. Now you don't like blue. Or you do like blue. I don't know. But you got something going with blue, don't you? So it's all very simple and easy to understand. You are in there. You've had these past impressions. And one life you can live, and I'm going to talk about the other, one life you can live is sort of like by default, permit your mind to create these tendencies and preferences and concepts and views and opinions and hopes and dreams and rights and wrongs and likes and dislikes. All that's mental stuff. Create that based upon your past experiences. If you grew up in a Jewish household, then Judaism is right. If you grew up in a Catholic household, then Catholic is right. Or if it was pushed on you, then Judaism, you don't have nothing to do with it. You don't have to do with Catholicism. It doesn't matter. The point is these past impressions have totally run your life. You're not making any decisions for yourself. These impressions have been left upon you. Now events start to happen, and they stimulate those impressions, don't they? You start to feel good about, I'm so attracted to him. I don't even want to know why. His glasses look like Uncle Charlie's, and he was really neat. There are reasons for this, and it's not chemistry. Right? It's just past impressions that take place, and they leave them inside of you. It's just such an important thing to grasp because it's running your life. If you're not careful, these past impressions will run your entire life, and they have no meaning. How can they have meaning? You could have had a different impression. There's nothing special about the impressions you've had. It just happened to be where you were looking at the time. I always tell everybody, here's a story. When you were 6 years old, you were riding in a car with your sister in the back, and your parents are up front, and you're driving down the street on a highway, and there's been a major accident up ahead. And you kind of turn your head and look out the window, and you see something terrible. Someone's been decapitated or something. And it's like a traumatic thing to you. You get all weird. You on that moment forward, and you don't want to drive. You never drove. You never got a license. You never did anything. You're scared. Could it happen? It's called a traumatic experience. It made a really deep impression on you. Now I want to know this. At that moment, when that accident was up there and that car is driving by, at one moment before you turned your head to the right, your sister said, "Hey, look over here." And you looked the other way. Now your life's totally different. Totally different. You're a race car driver. You grew up to, that's offensive to me. That's some random thing that you're looking one way versus another way, and all of a sudden your whole life is different. That's not a meaningful life. That's some random stuff going on there, isn't it? That child didn't get to decide what his life wants to be. It was decided because he turned his head to the right or the left. That is insulting, isn't it? Come on, we're the highest species on the planet. There's something drastically wrong with that. And I'm telling you that's true of every single impression inside of you. It could have happened a different way. Maybe your parents didn't get divorced. Maybe your stepdad was really neat or really bad. Who the heck knows? Anything can happen. It has nothing to do with you. They're just the unfolding of circumstances that are happening around you. And now you don't have your own life. Now you have all this stuff inside you got to be afraid of if it happens again. Now you have all these things inside that you really want to happen again. And next thing you know, you're a robot. Your life is not yours. It belongs to these impressions that are going to react when the world unfolds in front of you. If you grew up in California and you had all impressions from there and then you moved to Florida, how dare you bring those impressions with you? They have nothing to do with the moment that's unfolding in front of you. Do they? What's unfolding in front of you wasn't even in California with you. It doesn't even know what you have inside of you, does it? It's a totally different situation. How can it be that the situation that's unfolding in front of you now, the reality, is going to hit this stuff that you stored from before that has nothing to do with it and cause reactions inside of you that determine how you behave? Wow, what happened to freedom? What happened to free will? What happened to choice? What happened to anything? It's an insulting way to live. And some people decided, I ain't living that way. But very few. But that's what we're here to talk about. There is an entirely different way to live. But let's make sure we have that one down. Because you deal with it every day, don't you? Every moment of every day. Things unfold outside. I'm telling you, those things outside have nothing to do with you. Any ever study physics? You ever heard of the thing called the quantum field? That when they studied down there and looked all the way down, they found atoms. And then when they got past the atoms, where they find quarks and leptons and bosons and these subatomic particles. And they're kind of popping out of this field. Isn't that what creates what's in front of you? If you ask any scientist in the world, they're going to tell you that's what creates what's in front of you. Which one of you are making the bosons, leptons, and quarks pop out of that field the way they are? Not one of you, are you? Then how in the world can what's in front of you have anything to do with you? The atoms have nothing to do with you. The subatomic particles have nothing to do with you. And since what's in front of you is nothing but the subatomic particles put together, I want to blow your mind. I want to challenge you to understand how lost we are. You can go into a science class and study this and then walk out and argue with somebody who's walking across the street. You're arguing with bosons and leptons and quarks. You're arguing with what's coming out of the quantum field, aren't you? Because that's all that's in front of you. So a wise person wakes up and realizes what is unfolding in front of me has absolutely nothing to do with me. I mean, here. I've been in here my whole life. That hasn't been there my whole life. That doesn't even know my whole life. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. It is the result of the forces that caused it to be the way it is. You ever hear of something called cause and effect? All the causes that ever happened culminated in the moment in front of me. I wasn't even there. Therefore, it has nothing to do with me. Doesn't seem like that, does it? It seems real personal, doesn't it? It really gets you upset. Either get you going or get you upset. I'm telling you, that's all illusion, delusion, and error. In the yoga, in the East, Sanskrit, they call that Maya. It's Maya. The fact that it seems as though that's unfolding in front of you is very personal and has a lot to do with you is illusion. It's just an illusion. It has nothing to do with you. It belongs to itself. Like, there are certain people here tonight. There are reasons that every one of you are here. And there are reasons why the other 7 billion people aren't. We could study every one of them and find out why they're doing what they're doing. And study your past and everything and find out why you're doing what you're doing. It has nothing to do with me. I want more people here. I want less people here. I want so-and-so here. What are you doing? It has nothing to do with you. So to take things personal is absurd. It's also very difficult, isn't it? Walk around this world taking everything personal. So this difference between the impressions you've had over the course of your life, those are very personal. Only because you had them. They weren't personal when they happened. They were like everything else. But the fact that they happened to you means they're your impressions. They're your experiences. And so those are the impressions you had, and now you bring them with you for your whole life. 20, 30 years later, what mommy did when you were 5 is still affecting you. It shouldn't even be in there. It's over. Why are you carrying that in there? What happened to you when you were 5 What's that got to do with what's happening now? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So one life is you have these impressions. You're going to have impressions. They're going to unfold in front of you. You have these impressions. They leave impressions on your mind. And now you build this whole model inside your head about what you like and what you don't like and how things should be and what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and everything, right down to the tiniest detail. I liked him a lot. Then he showed up in a bow tie. Are you kidding me? I'm like, God, I would have got a bow tie. There you go. You just left your soulmate standing on the street corner because he had a bow tie on. And the reason he had a bow tie on is because he loved you so much, and his father proposed to his mother in a bow tie, and he always thought that was so romantic. That's why he put the bow tie on. We just miss it, don't we? We say, woo! It's so funny. It's ridiculous. Therefore, someday you wake up, I hope it's now, and you realize what's going on inside your head, it's ruining your life. Because you're walking into a moment that has nothing to do with you, with a mindset that says it better be the way I want, and it better not be the way I don't want. Fair enough? That's why all life is suffering. That's why. There's no way what you made up in your mind is going to happen out here. Have you ever noticed that it doesn't come out the way you want? Who's noticed that yet? You don't want to know why it doesn't? Because it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be what it is. It's supposed to be the result of the causes that caused it to be that way. It's not supposed to be the way you made up. You just made it up one day. I saw a movie. I liked it, so I made up however it was supposed to be. I read a book. Wow, it really changed me. What do you mean it changed me? It made a big impression. I used to not like motorcycles. Now I like them. And I used to, wow, weird. Totally weird. And not only did it change me, it better change the world in front of me. Otherwise, I'm not happy. As simple as that. And so now you have this friction. And it makes me cry. I'm telling you, that's why life seems so difficult. Life is not difficult. Life is beautiful. Life is amazing. But it's not amazing if you've decided how it should be and you're getting upset if it's not that way. And you know you're doing that, all right? All the time. The driver in front of you, the weather, how somebody talked to you, how close they're standing next to you in the elevator. You just realize I am making a complete mess out of my life. Not life is a mess. I am making a complete mess out of my life. Why? Because you made up how it's supposed to be, when in truth it has nothing to do with you, and therefore you're getting upset that it's not the way you want. Every little thing. So what's the alternative? There is another way to live. Very few know about it. The other way to live is truth. The world unfolding in front of me belongs to itself, belongs to physics, belongs to the quarks and leptons and the four fundamental forces. All right? If you change the voltage, the power of an electron, just change it by 0.000000001, nothing is here the way it is now. The covalent bonds won't bond together the way they are. Atoms won't be put together the way, right or wrong. The world belongs to itself. The moment in front of you is the way it is because of every force that ever happened before and because of the forces that are causing it to be the way it is, and none of them have to do with you. There's not one of you that wake up in the morning and the world comes to you and says, excuse me, ma'am, how do you want things to be today? With the weather, you forgot to tell me about the weather. What about Paul? How do you want him to act? How close do you want him to stand? Should he call you 2 or 3 times? The world isn't doing that. It's behaving in accordance with the forces that cause it to be the way they are, and it's not you. Who's willing to look at the truth and live it? So somebody who's not willing to look at the truth, I'm telling you, and then I won't belabor it, they're going to go through their entire lives. It's not like you get older, you get wiser. You get older, you get more stuff. You've had more impressions. You have more stuff that freaks you out, the more stuff that didn't happen, that you're resentful and sad, and oh my God, it's weird. So basically, you're going to collect this stuff. You have no choice. The stuff's going to happen. You're going to collect it. You're going to store it based on how it hits you. I liked it, I didn't like it, which is all going to be based upon your past impressions. So you're constantly piling impressions on top of impressions on top of impressions. In yoga, we call them samskaras. They literally talked about this stuff thousands and thousands of years ago in the Upanishads and the Vedas. And the Buddha talked about it. So basically, you have this stuff stored inside, and it creates a veil. It creates a mental veil, the personal mind, through which you look, and then the world, when it happens, you don't get to experience what's actually happening. You only experience what happened, how it hits your stuff. So there's this reaction. Every single thing you see or hear Something goes on inside, doesn't it? The mind's got something to say about it. Something's going on. You're interacting with yourself. You're not interacting with the world. The litmus test I always give people, a lot of you are new, I'll give it again. Next time you're having a conversation with somebody, doesn't matter who it is, friend, lover, parent, I don't care. You're sitting there talking. Now it's their turn to talk. I want you to honestly watch from inside and see whether you're actually listening to what they're saying or listening to what your mind says about what they're saying. I don't agree with that. I can't believe she said that. It's ridiculous. She didn't belabor that point. This is crazy, right? Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, I had a situation. That's what's going on while you're listening to that person. That means you're not listening to that person. You're listening to you. You understand that? And then the worst, because I've checked it out, it's embarrassing. Then the worst is you're not listening to them. You're not listening to what your mind is saying about what they're saying. You're thinking about what you're going to say when they finally stop talking. Check it out. Okay? You're going to find out we're messed up. So one way to live is you have all these impressions, and now you have to struggle to try to be okay. And I'm telling you, when you live in that personal mind, the only way you're okay is if things happen the way it wants. It has to be exactly the way it wants, including the weather. How many times has the weather got you upset because it rained when you didn't want it to, because it was hotter than you wanted it to be? How far can we go here that we're letting things that have nothing to do with us mess us up? So that's one way to live. Another way is completely different. The other way is to wake up in the morning and say, I am not the creator of the universe. Newsflash. I always say to everybody, God is, science is. I don't care. Whatever your flavor is, makes no difference to me. Later we can talk about that if there's a difference. But from what I'm talking about, this is the day the Lord hath made. This is the day the quarks and leptons and bosons hath made. Fine with me. Maybe they'll turn out to be the same thing. But the net result is, it ain't me. I didn't make this. And so when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be excited to see what happens next. What do you mean? I'm just happen to be on the planet Earth, and there's going to be stuff unfolding in front of me, and I'm going to get to see it. Do you know the moment you're experiencing has never happened yet? Like right now, this has never happened yet, and it will never happen again. So every single moment in front of you is a gift. It is the most unique experience that could ever happen. So instead of judging it and making it try to fit these past impressions you have, a great being, and it is a great being, is conscious and puts their awareness on the moment that is unfolding. And they are grateful that they get to experience the moment's unfolding. Let's just start that way. Now that sounds like a lot more fun, doesn't it? A lot more fun than having decided how it should be. It's bad enough you decide how it should be, but I already told you it has nothing to do with you. It's not going to be the way you want, is it? So isn't that silly? It's silly to make up how it's supposed to be when it's not even up to you to make it be that way. There's no way. We have some influence. We'll talk about that later, but not much. Maybe you've noticed. You're not the... God, when I say that, people have trouble with that. Right now, I'm experiencing the moment in front of me. I'm not experiencing the moment to my right. I'm not experiencing the moment to the left. I'm not experiencing the moment behind me, or above me, or below me, or anywhere else in the entire universe. But I'm trying to influence what's going on. Well, we understand it's a whole. You understand it's all connected together. It's not like the part I see, the atoms don't touch the rest, right? It's a system. It's called the universe, an equilibrium system. So if I have no control, nothing, I don't know what's going on, at 99.99999999999% of the whole thing, how exactly do I have control over the part that's in front of me? I want you to challenge you to look at that. Your mind is driving you crazy. It's just sitting there making up how it wants to be, and it's thinking it's supposed to be that way. And the answer is no, it's not. It's supposed to be the way it is. So a wise person wakes up and says, I got to do something about this crazy mind that's driving me crazy. And what I'm going to do, as in practice, I'm going to start paying attention to what's unfolding in front of me. Be here now. Mindfulness. Something's unfolding in front of me. I want to experience it. That's my starting position. Okay, but then you're going to say to me, it's very important, I'll give you your own argument back. Yeah, but what if it's not nice, what's happening in front of me? What if it's not pleasant? Yes, it's absolutely true that not pleasant, newsflash, it is absolutely true that just because you decide to experience what's happening in front of you, instead of complain about it or make up how you want it to be, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a pleasant experience. There, I was honest, wasn't I? So what's wrong with that? That's the most important thing I want to talk to you. So what's wrong with that? Things unfold. It rains on your birthday. We're supposed to have something outside. Okay, there's nothing you do about it. You sit there and realize, okay, this was not pleasant. We'll do something about it. Change your plans. Just harmonize with reality. How about if I said it that way? You are the highest species on the planet. The highest species is the most adaptable. You can live in the Arctic. You can live in the rainforest. You're amazing. You can be a vegetarian. You can be a carnivore. It's just amazing how adaptable you are. You can live alone. And some people got a whole bunch of people living with them. Other species can't do that. You're a very high species. But you're telling me you can't handle the rain? You can't handle the color red? You can't handle somebody got divorced? You can't handle somebody driving in front of you slower than you want? Oh my God, what happened to adaptability? So a wise person wakes up and says, I'm going to enjoy my life. That's the only thing I want from you. I want you to enjoy your life. You're supposed to have fun. It's a beautiful place. It's awesome. The earth is a neat place. Why don't you go check out another planet and see if you'd rather live there? That's how you need to look at it. Don't let your mind do this. You have to learn how to enjoy the life that is unfolding in front of you. It does no good to say, oh, but I'd rather. It doesn't matter. That means you don't get what you'd rather and you miss what's happening. There is no I'd rather be sailing. Take off that bumper sticker. I don't want to see it anymore. I want to say I'd rather be doing what I'm doing. Okay? But listen to me, it's so logical. The only experience you're having is the one you're having. You're not having the experience you're not having. So if your mind is creating an alternate reality and you're lost in there, then you are missing the experience you wished you were having and you're missing the experience you are having, therefore you're empty. That's why you feel empty. That's why you feel lonely. That's why you feel lost. That's why you don't feel you know what's going on. You don't feel you know what you want to do. Because you got lost betwixt and between your mind making up an alternate reality and you missing the reality that's happening. So where are you now? Nowheres. So this life says, no, I'm being gifted with the moment that's unfolding in front of me. I literally tell my mind, those of you who are into astrophysics and stuff, it took 13.8 billion years of everything to be exactly the way it was for this moment to be in front of me. It used to be just these gases, thick clouds of hydrogen gas, didn't it, after the Big Bang? And they made themselves into this, just for me. And it took 13.8 billion years to get here. Heck, if I'm missing it. Every moment in front of you is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's not going to happen again. And it's not happening to anybody else either. The moment you're seeing, nobody else has ever seen and ever will. Wow. If you want to feel special, that makes you pretty special. Remember, I'm doing all this talk for what reason? I would like you to enjoy your life. I care about you. I'd like you to enjoy your life. It's a reasonable thing. Let's say you have kids. You want your kid to enjoy their life or suffer? No, you enjoy your life. You only got one. Here it is. You know, you're born, you die. Would you please have fun in between? Will you please enjoy your life? Not be neurotic and fight with it and get depressed. All of it, every problem you have is because you decided how it's supposed to be and you get upset that it's not that way. This is the alternate lifestyle. You don't decide how it's supposed to be. You're honored to get to experience what's in front of you. Respect, honor, appreciation. You look at it and say, thank you. You are better than nothing, I'll tell you that. I'm glad to be enjoying this, to be experiencing this. And you go from moment to moment, open, receptive, appreciative. Now, things are going to happen. Just because you got that way and you got open and you're not making up what you want, there are still going to be things that happen that don't feel good when they come in. I always use the example of a rattlesnake and a butterfly. It doesn't matter if you ever saw a snake before. You get that rattlesnake coiled up, rattling, those fangs coming out. That is not a nice experience. You have a butterfly fly over here and land on you. Different things have their own nature, as the Buddhists talk about. Everything has its nature. So a rattlesnake has a nature. A butterfly has a nature. This person has a nature. That person has a nature. Doesn't mean it can't change, but when it comes into you, it will pass its vibration into you, and you will experience in accordance to the nature of what is in front of you. What's wrong with that? The universe is made of many different things. Don't you want to experience them? Don't you want to have lots of experiences? Don't you want to learn things? Don't you want to be mature at this process of life? So different experiences unfold in front of you. They come in. Well, what if they're not pleasant? Then they're not pleasant. then they're not pleasant. So you're driving your car, somebody ran a light, you had to ram on your brake and spin around. That's not fun. But then they're gone and you're there. Go, keep driving. I had an unpleasant experience. It was fun. That's how I want you to be. How unpleasant was it? My heart was jumping out of my chest. I was really far out. Then what happened? I came to work. It's over. It's over. Then why is it still going on inside of you? Because you're not willing to let it go. That's the only reason. If it is not going on outside anymore, it should not be going on inside anymore. I'm challenging you. Why would I keep hanging out with moments that happened 20 minutes ago? I got the moments that are happening now. I'm busy. Sorry, I'm busy. You guys, you all got TVs, right? Nowadays, you have pause buttons. When I grew up, you didn't pause the TV. You just kept going. There's nothing you could do about it, right? Now I like it. You got pause buttons. When you pause it, the thing stops on the screen. What if it was set up to where you could stop on the screen whenever you wanted? Well, you can. You got PIP and stuff like that. You get a whole bunch of those stopped ones on the screen at the same time, and then try to watch a movie on top of that. How would that be? Ugh. That's what you're doing inside. You pushed the pause button to the event that's already over, didn't you? And so it stayed inside of you. And now you have lots of those, and now you're trying to experience a movie, the movie of life, with all that stuff stuck inside your head. It makes no sense. It's a totally illogical and ridiculous thing to do, and I am telling you, you do not have to keep that stuff inside of you. How do I know that? It doesn't want to be inside of you. What do you mean? Doesn't it keep trying to come up? Stuff you stored in there, you see something, you hear something, smell something, all of a sudden you're back with mommy. Anything can stimulate it. What is a Rorschach test? You all know what that is, the ink blot test? Well, why would they give me that? Because it makes the stuff come up. Oh, you mean the psychologist drew the pictures perfectly because he knew what your stuff was? No, it's an ink blot. It has no shape or meaning to it. But when you see it, here comes mommy, here comes daddy, here comes your first love experience that didn't work so good. Right or wrong, right? Whatever's in there is coming back up. What are your dreams? Whatever's in there coming back up. It doesn't want to stay in there. What do you do when it comes back up? What do you do if you had an experience that wasn't comfortable and then something stimulates it? What do? You push it back down. Don't you? You have hands in there, don't you? What? Just a second. All right, I'm all right. You need a second to do what? Push it back down. Or you yell at somebody. I told you not to talk about that. I'm not comfortable talking about that. Do you hear me? I'm telling you that stuff is not supposed to be in there. It's in there because you keep it in there. You use your will to push away from you things that you don't like. So if you had a rattlesnake in front of you, and you didn't like the experience, now you won't go into a reptile exhibit. Even if they're in cages and aquariums, you won't go see them. If you did that with that rattlesnake. In fact, you won't walk in the woods. You want to go to the Rockies? Come on, you're dating somebody. We'll go. Are there snakes there? Yes. I'm not going. Really, I'm telling you, people are like that. Why is that rattlesnake that you saw 7 years ago running your life? The poor rattlesnake, he crawled away a long time ago. He's gone. Why is he still inside of you? It is not supposed to be in there. You're supposed to have had the experience, so now you're an experienced rattlesnaker. Everything's that way until you make it not be that way. Until you store it inside of you and it becomes disproportionate and it rots in there, doesn't it? And it grows and you end up with all these scars inside of you. So a wise person does the following. They sit there and say, I'm going to enjoy my life. Thank you. Not things have to be exactly the way I want for me to enjoy my life, because then you'll never enjoy your life. And nothing bad better happen to me or I'll never enjoy my life. I'll resent it forever. Then you'll never enjoy your life. A wise person says, I'm going to enjoy my life. Period. No matter what. Unconditionally. That's my goal. That's my career. Right? Everybody has to pick a career. I picked one. I'm going to enjoy my life. And that's a good career, isn't it? Why do you want to pick a particular career? Because you think it'll help you enjoy your life. Why not pick the career that says I'm going to enjoy my life? You want a relationship. Why do you want a relationship? So I can feel love. Why not say I want to feel love? You want to share in a relationship? Fine. But a relationship's not going to give you love. Love is something you experience inside yourself. So all of a sudden you start catching on to this. We're just playing the game the wrong way. And you sit there and say, I am going to enjoy my life. I'm going to enjoy my life no matter what. There's absolutely nothing You want to get really high? There's nothing that will ever happen that will ever make me stop enjoying my life. Whoa, that's high. I like that. That's strong stuff. That's beautiful. Like you make vows to each other. I want you to make a meaningful vow to yourself. If I have but one life to live, it is going to be the highest thing that anyone ever lived in the history of the world. I'm going to enjoy every single moment of it. I'm going to be an experienced liver. So basically, you come down and you make that vow to yourself. You wake up in the morning, first thing you realize is, moments are going to unfold in front of me today. I am going to enjoy them. Why? Because I said so. And I'm the only one in here, so I win. Out here, there's all kinds of competition. Try to make everything be the way you want to be okay. Nobody agrees with you. You got to fight for everything, don't you? In here, you're the only one in there. Everyone is pointing right at you. You're the only one in there. If you decide that things are okay in there, then things are okay in there. It's called unconditional. We're talking about unconditional happiness, unconditional love, unconditional well-being. I am going to feel love because love is inside of me. I'm going to feel enthusiasm because I'm turned on by everything. I'm going to feel excitement and joy. And wouldn't that be neat every day, every minute? Okay, I'm telling you it can be like that. The only reason it's not like that is because you're a party pooper. You go to eat something and they serve it and it's not as hot as you want it to be. It's not exactly the size portion you want it to be. Somebody's smoking in the booth next door. The music isn't what it was last time. You're ruining your meal. You're the one who's doing it. You're ruining your relationships, you're ruining your meal, you're ruining your classes, you're ruining everything by that mind deciding that it has to be exactly the way I want, or I am going to throw a tantrum and make myself suffer. And so instead you wake up and you say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll teach you how to do it. But you wake up and you say, I am going to enjoy the reality of the moments unfolding in front of me. They took 13.8 billion years to get here. They are the quarks and leptons of reality unfolding in front of me. And man, I am going to say thank you. I am going to appreciate it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to be open to it. And I'm going to learn. That's the difference. Every experience I have is my teacher. If you never touched a stove before, you don't know anything about it. You touch it once, you know. Doesn't mean you don't buy a stove. Doesn't mean you don't cook ever again. It means you become a knower of the hot stove. If you're a knower of the hot stove, you don't have to worry about it anymore, do you? If you let it all the way in, it becomes part of your being. It's like the difference between playing a piano where you have to memorize every note and playing by heart. Once you learn it, same thing in sports. You better not be there trying to hit the ball. You better just be there. It gets very zen, doesn't it? You better become one with the ball. That's how the great ones talk about it. They say they go into the zone. There's just this oneness with whatever's happening. I want you to live every second of your life that way. So the experience comes in, and it doesn't touch your mind. It touches you. You in there. Hi. Without the static in between. You become a knower of that experience. I see it as rivers flowing into the ocean. It's happening all the time, isn't it? They merge right into the ocean. Experiences are flowing into your soul, into your being, and you're becoming wiser. Not smarter, wiser. It's wisdom. You're now a knower. I always ask everybody, would you rather go on a hike with someone who's never seen a rattlesnake or somebody who's seen plenty of them? There's not even close. Would you rather have no experiences in life or have experiences? And so it's everything's the same. You see life like a sport. You're practicing. You're learning. It's making you wholer and greater. Every single experience you have is a gift, and it makes you a greater being. Are you not greater because you now had another experience? The only way you're not better is if you resist the experience. But you did that. If I sit there and push it away and, no, I'm never getting married again. This didn't work out and I never wanted to get divorced. And my parents were divorced and I swore I would never get divorced. I can't believe I'm never going to date. I'm never going to go. You did that. You had an experience. You learned from it. You'll probably be much better in your next marriage if you have another one because you saw where it went south. And you catch on. You come into the moment and you appreciate it and you say thank you. If it comes in and it's pleasant, you say thank you for sure. You enjoy it. You imbibe it. You let it touch your whole being. If it comes in the moment and it's not pleasant, you say, I want to learn. I want to learn how to handle all the different moments of life. And so you open. You don't resist. You don't push it away. You open up. Okay, so now you're living a life of appreciation, of gratitude, and of total learning. Every second of your life is your teacher because you're having an experience you didn't have before. And so you let it in. Now what? Now you come to the next level, which I know you want to hear. Does that mean life is completely passive? I don't do anything. I just sit in here and experience the unfolding of the reality in front of me. Yes, you sit in there and experience the unfolding reality in front of you. Now you interact with it. Not while you're reacting. Not while you can't handle it. I can't handle what you said. Now I'm going to deal with it. No, you won't deal with it. You'll deal with the fact that you can't handle it. If I can't handle what you said to me, I'm not going to be dealing with you. I'm going to be dealing with me, aren't I? Everything you do from that moment forward will not be about fixing the situation outside. It will be about fixing the situation inside. I'm freaking out inside because of what you said, or because of what I think you said, or what you might say. And everything I'm going to say is to protect myself from myself. It will have nothing to do with the situation outside. It will have my reaction to the situation, and you will do terrible. You'll make a complete mess of your relationships, of your finances, of everything, because you're living based on the wrong thing. So now I've not done that. I've let this moment come in, and I'm experiencing it fully. Now what? Even if it's unpleasant, I'm present, I'm here, I'm experiencing it. Now look to see if there's something you're supposed to be doing. Not because you want to fix yourself, not because you can't handle it. You can handle it. It's called being centered. You're present. I'm present in the moment. Now look and see. Is it asking something of you? So if somebody walked by and didn't say hello to you, a friend of yours, say hi, and they kept walking. You don't know. Did they not hear you? Are they mad at you? Did somebody tell them something that wasn't true? It's like, I don't know. Your mind will go crazy. Don't act on that, please. Don't go running after them. Don't call them on the phone. It's like, basically, if you can handle it, then open your eyes and see if there's something you're supposed to be doing. No, they're gone. But I don't know why they didn't do it. Well, you don't even know why they heard you. What are you going to do? Make up a reason? Well, there could have been 6 different reasons that happened. I'll pick one and act on it. No, just let it go. If it comes back, deal with it then. It always works out better. Once you learn to do this, you'll come to me and say, wow, I am so grateful. I would have made such a mess out of so many things the way I was before. Now they're gone and nothing even came back. It wasn't anything. Next time you see the person, you don't even ask, why did you not say hello to me last week? You just find out they're friendly and you say, okay, that's how I am all the time. Find out, oh, thank God, nothing's wrong. Okay, I'm glad I didn't say anything. No, I don't even care why. Why? What do I care why? I just care that we're fine and there's no problem. Maybe they're in a bad mood. Fine, they get to be in bad moods. But the point is now it's fine. If it's not fine the next time, then we'll deal with it then. I'm telling you, it works out fine. There are times where you don't have to interact, all right? There are times when you do have to interact. Something happens in front of you. If somebody calls you on the phone and says your 16-year-old kid was found with drugs in his locker or something like that, right? You freak out. What did I do? Why would he do this to me? Blah, 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 blah. That's not going to help the kid. That neurosis doesn't help anybody. Now that you let it go and you honored and respected the moment, it's still there. You need to deal with it. You need to go down to the school and meet the principal. You need to deal with the kid. Do your best. Bring your best game. Don't bring your neurotic self. Don't bring your mess. Bring your best being into the moment you're dealing with. So I always get down to the highest way to live is let go of your personal self. There's no use for it. Don't even bother deciding what you like, what you don't like. They're just a problem. It's unfolding, good. When it comes in, honor it, respect it, and then do everything you can, heart, soul, your whole being, to raise the moment as it passes by you. Is there something I can do so that moment is better off because it passed before me? And I mean every moment. No moment's bigger than another one. Each moment is what life is creating at that moment for you. It's all equally as important. You start by saying, I owe the moment that is in front of me my whole being. And so I give myself to it. If I'm sweeping a floor, I do the best I can. If I'm studying for a test, I do the best I can. If there's a car accident, I stop to help the people that are in the car accident. Eventually it gets so easy, it's ridiculous. When you put aside your personal self, you just do everything you can to serve the moments that are unfolding in front of you. And you will find out that the next moment comes, and you're not doing anything, but yet everything's happening. You're participating in life. And you'll find out that if you participate in life, the combination of you, your will, your consciousness, and life do a way better job than life is unfolding and you're fighting it. You're doing everything you can to make it be your way, which it never will be anyways. And so most people have no idea how harmonious. What we just talked about right there is what Lao Tzu meant by the Tao. If any of you ever studied the Tao Te Ching, the Tao, that balance where you're merged with the moment in front of you, where there's no disharmony, okay? That doesn't mean everything's the way you want. It means you're in harmony with what is. The Tao means the way it is, okay? And you've come into harmony with that. All of the deep teachings exist exactly what we just talked. All of them, including mystical Christianity and the Kabbalah. They're all about letting go. Christ said you must die to be reborn. That's what we just talked about. You have to die of the personal, all this junk. And if you do, you're going to find out that the person who's left is a very great being. You are a very great being. Not only is there nothing wrong with you, it's way past that. You in there, hi. You in there who's struggling to be okay, are so okay, I can't even talk about it. You're a very great being. Very great being. So those are the two lives. Do you see them? They're both open to you. They don't cost money. They have nothing to do with how smart you are or how tall you are. They have to do with you. Did you catch on yet? This world out here is not here for you to manipulate your problems and try to solve them, your little psychological problems with the world outside. You're in here and you can be of service. You can do something beautiful with your life. And then when you harmonize with life, great things happen. It seems like you're doing nothing, and all of a sudden people come to you and say, God, you helped me so much. It was amazing. You said just the right thing. You don't even know what you said. It happens all the time. Because you're in harmony with what's unfolding, you will be in harmony with what's unfolding. That's the spiritual life. And I started by telling you, the spiritual life is exactly the same as the beautiful life. And the beautiful life is exactly the same as the spiritual life. You don't have to read books, you don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. It's about what you're doing inside yourself. Most of you are very young. You make a decision early in your life. Do you want to suffer? Do you want to suffer? Do you want to go through your life fighting with everything and everybody to try to make them be what you want? Because you never will. Nobody has ever made it be what they want. Or do you want to enjoy, appreciate, and serve and raise the beautiful moments that are being given to you that are unfolding in front of you? You have to work with yourself, because now we're caught in our personal stuff. That's what meditation is about. That's what all this stuff's about, is learning to extricate your being, your consciousness, from this mess that's going on inside your mind. And if you do that, it will fall off naturally. It will just fall off, and what will be left there, so beautiful. Jagrata.